everyone, my name is Daisy, and I am here today to discuss this question with you guys. Is stress a bad thing? Okay, before I start my talk, I want everyone to close their eyes. Please close them. Some of you guys are not closing your eyes. Please close them. I'm going to do a simple simulation. Okay. Imagine you're at school. Imagine you were a straight A student in your previous school. You could easily beat everyone and take the first place. You have always been proud of yourself and were sure that you could do anything. But this year, you're moving to a new school. And your mom told you, "Oh, sweetie, the kids here are very, very hardworking and smart. The workload for assignments is going to be a bit more challenging, but you'll be fine." Finally, it is the first day of school. You're quite nervous, but at the same time, you feel like you'll be the first in your class again. However, this is not what you expected. People here are crazy. How can they get the work done so fast and be so perfect? Now, you've got twice the workload, and feelings of frustration and doubts about yourself start to surge. You start to have a headache, and you begin to think, "Oh, I want to give up on everything." Now, open your eyes, and think, have I ever been in a similar situation where I felt very stressed about something I need to do, or even about something I want to do? It doesn't have to be academic stress. It can be about friendship, family, jobs, or personal goals, anything. How do you handle stress? What strategies have you tried to reduce the stress? Take a moment to reflect on the actions you took when you're stressed. Let me start with mine. We go back to 2018, when I was in 5th grade. Yeah. International school was something that I had never experienced before. My first language is Korean, but I had to live my day in English. I had already been studying English for several years in Korea, so I didn't have big problems communicating with teachers and friends. However, what was challenging to me was a book. I still remember my principal at that time recommended a book to me, but I wasn't able to read it because it was a bit difficult for me to read. However, this was not a serious stress. It was like a small worry I had as an international school student. Or maybe I was too young to perceive this as stress, so I didn't do anything about it. Real stress began when I was in 7th grade. Yeah, that's 2019. I participated in Molding United Nations. It's a debate simulation where students can learn things about diplomacy, international relations, or world problems. I was not confident that I could do debates with high school students. It took me a long time to even understand what it was. However, one thing was for sure, it was not as simple as the normal homework that 7th graders do. The day of MUN had finally come, and the MUN I researched turned out to be nowhere near the real MUN. People were doing something that I had no idea of, and I was totally lost. After my first MUN, I was totally exhausted and shocked. Now that I know the whole flow of the debate and the things I need to prepare, this time I tried to at least mimic what high school students did last time. A 7th grader spent the whole day researching and writing a resolution for the debate. At the time, I thought for the first time, this is what people mean by stress. It was very stressful. So I started looking for various ways to cope with this, such as talking to adults or searching on YouTube how to write a good resolution. Through this process, I not only gained the skill of writing a good resolution, but broadened my perspective. What I want to emphasize out of this episode is that even though I was under a lot of pressure, that's what motivated to go beyond my comfort zone. The start of my journey alongside stress wasn't bad, but it wasn't flawless. At the time, I got overwhelmed by my stress and eventually decided to quit. At least I got the sense of what stress is. Okay, according to Crash Course, stress is the process by which we perceive a certain event or stressor that we view as challenging or threatening. I believe this is what people normally think of stress, but it's not always a bad thing. It can be a source of energy and a high level of focus. So when our brain perceives a threat, it sends signals to our body's autonomic nervous system, which triggers stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This is what prepares your body for instant action. This is why stress is beneficial for healthy development. It provides motivation, energy, and focus. Okay. Now, we travel back to 2021. That's when I was in 9th grade. I have been improving various aspects of myself for the past 2 years. Things got a bit more serious, and I had a desire to find one thing I like, which obviously I couldn't. It's perfectly normal to be unsure about yourself yet, but in 9th grade, I was very anxious about not knowing what would happen in the next 3 years in my high school. As a person who can't live a day without planning, this approached me as a serious stress, even though it might be nothing to others. Now, we're in 2024, and it's my junior year. I have around 1 year left until my graduation. I have experienced both successful events and stressful events. And I will experience the worst stress next year during my college application, or even after that. It seems really daunting. However, I'm not scared because I know how to convert stressful situations into opportunities. I do not let stress take control of my life. I see how I can take advantage of it. Do you know the difference between eustress and distress? In simple words, eustress is a moderate stress that can be beneficial. On the other hand, distress is a severe stress that can be harmful. Obviously, we want eustress, but sometimes it's very difficult to manage your stress so that it doesn't become distress. So, remember the definition I gave you a few minutes ago? Crash Course defines stress as something we perceive as a threat. However, this is not how you should be thinking. View stress as steps that can lead you to the next level, not a threat. This is why controlling your mindset and internal thoughts are very important. So when I'm extremely stressed, I always convince myself, I just talk to myself internally. Not everyone experiences this stress I'm experiencing right now, so I have privilege to take control of it and reduce it. I take advantage of it. And I'm proud of myself because I'm strong enough to handle it. This is just what I do internally to control my thoughts. Actions you do when you're stressed are also as crucial as internal thoughts. So I observed myself for about 2 days to see how I control my stress. How I control my stress. And so I was able to categorize them into two. One way is relatively calm. So when I'm really stressed, I write things down. I calm down as I make a to-do list. That's my to-do list. And after looking at my full, complete to-do list, I feel more organized and motivated. But sometimes I'm just too tired or too stressed to even think about it. And I just zone out. Like that. That's me when I'm stressed out. I just stare at a certain object for like 3 minutes. I stay away from the stressor and clear my head by zoning out. It kind of brings you back to the normal state so that you can face the stressor again without too much pressure. The other way is a bit more aggressive, which is shouting. It might sound a bit odd, but let's say I'm really stressed out with this project I'm working on. And from the outside, it may look like I'm just working on a project. Nothing's wrong. But all of a sudden, I start shouting, as if I'm taking out all the stress inside me. Screaming is very beneficial when you want to ease emotions and release stress right away. Of course, the things that make you release stress can vary from person to person. This is my way of managing stress. There will be lots of obstacles that make you feel very stressed. But are we going to give up just because there's an obstacle in front of us? No, we are going to overcome that. overcome that obstacle, and reach the next destination. It is our lifelong homework to convert stress into opportunities. When I walk out of the stage, I'd like you to ask yourself again, is stress truly a bad thing? Thank you for listening.